Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the DJB podcast. I'm Jordan, aka JB, and I'm here with
DJ, aka still DJ.
and we're back at it for episode number 2. So, shall we just jump into it? Jump into our topics for discussion.
So we were thinking.
Yes.
Oh,
you go.
So we were thinking. So, Christmas just happened for us, and I mean, I'm gonna guess everyone else.
No, separate Christmases.
Experienced the 25th of December.
Woo!
So we were gonna go over our favorite Christmas gifts as kids.
Yes.
Or anything that we were just like completely enamored by growing up. Did you have any like specific things like stuffed animal or something?
I don't remember like stuffed animals. I do remember I got a Razor scooter for Christmas once, and it was like the best thing. And I would like ride it down my hallway because it was like still too cold to like take it outside.
Yeah, and there's probably like
and there's like
snow or something. Yeah.
And there's like no space really in my house to be riding a Razor scooter. My dog's like all up in my space because he's like, "What is this?" So that was like a really good gift. And like I had that Razor scooter for years. Like into high school, I think I still had this Razor scooter.
What color was it?
It was like silver, but like the handlebars were like pinkish red.
Oh,
and
okay.
I could do like tricks. I mean, not like a lot of tricks, but like.
Yeah, you're not hitting the skate park.
No, I was not like doing like wheelies and grinding on rails and stuff, but like I could like spin it and like jump. So like if I was on like a curb, I could jump down onto the street. And I thought I was the coolest thing.
that reminds me of, I guess my favorite one was probably made by Razor still, but it was a little ripstick thing. So like, it's almost like two separate skateboards for each leg that they put together.
Oh, is it the one that goes like either way with your feet?
Yeah. It's like snowboarding kind of, but yeah, each foot has its own section so it can turn its own way. But like, I remember because I used my neighbors a couple of times before that and was like, oh, yeah, these things are cool. And then I got one for Christmas. I got a green one, and all my neighbors had red and blue ones. And I was like, look out, kids. I'm the new cool kid on the block.
Step out the way, y'all.
And I think it might have been snowing. There might have been snow on the ground that year. And I didn't even care. I just went outside and tried to ride it in the snow. And it was just like, it didn't work at all. But I was just so freaking excited to run around with this thing. It was so fun.
Those presents, like any present that I could like use outside or like play with friends, I was like, super about those.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
anytime.
Oh, my sister got this thing called the X-Wing, which I don't even know if they make them anymore.
I don't even know what that is.
It's pretty much like your scooter that you're talking about, but so there's the handlebars, and then it goes down to the base, and instead of having one plank there for both your feet, it spreads off into 2 planks, and it looks like a Y shape. Yeah.
So it looks like you're skiing.
Yeah, with a handlebar, essentially. And then to move, it kind of did it like the ripstick, so you have to like sway back and forth on it, and then you start getting a little bit of speed going.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Oh yeah, that thing was a mess. It was so hard to ride.
What was your favorite present that you got this year?
This year, my mom gave me. Santa gave me the hookup this year. Santa still is alive and well in my household,
but
Santa got me a really, really nice record player.
Oh.
So I was working on a real cheap, about $45 one before, and now I got a good like $150 one.
Wow.
So that's mucho cool. And then they also got me a bookshelf speaker set.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, I kind of curved the curveball there. Not a bookshelf speaker set.
Speaker set.
Yeah, and so I have that like set up on the sides of my record player now, and I just started whipping out all my old records the other day.
Wow.
I was just like chilling to them. It's like, ooh. It's so smooth.
It's so funny to think like how our thought process on like presents changes from when we're like a kid. Like when I was a kid, I was like toys, anything I could play with, and now like if I get anything to like use in my room or like that I could use in my apartment, I'm like, this is the best. And like I like clothes so much more.
Yeah, I asked for pots and pans this year and towels and stuff and socks. Like I'm at that age, but tech still gets me, so like I got like a keyboard as well, so all that stuff I'm still.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah, Santa apparently really likes me.
Seriously hooked you up this year.
Yeah.
That sounds so nice. I think.
What did you get that was hella cool?
Well, I have a few favorite gifts that I got. I got a new San Francisco Giants jersey.
Oh Oh, ooh, who is it?
Buster Posey, of course.
Of course. Okay.
Because I really wanted a second one. Because the first one I have is like their cream colored
Yeah.
jersey, and this one's black. And
Oh, the black with the orange lettering.
it
Ooh,
looks
I like that one.
so fresh. I'm
Yeah.
so happy about it. I also got the soundtrack to Hamilton.
Ooh, it's almost like you predicted that,
I was
not too long ago.
There's like 3 things on my list, and so like I was like fingers crossed that I got that. I got the soundtrack for a movie called Sing Street.
Ooh.
You should check it out. It's so good. It's amazing. It's like set in Ireland, and it's about like this kid's like journey on like discovering his love of music and like falling in love and like dealing with his family. It's amazing. And
That sounds
then
good.
I got the 50th anniversary edition of The Outsiders.
Ooh.
I'm so happy about it. Like I don't even want to touch it. It looks so pretty.
My mom got me. Speaking of like anniversary editions, so I am a huge fan of Donnie Darko.
You
As
are.
you may know. And so I goofed or something, and I asked for the 10-year anniversary edition of it.
Okay.
Well, it's on its 15-year this year.
Oh, geez.
And they put out a new one, and so Santa, aka my mother, gave me a stern talking to about about how Santa looked really hard for the 10th anniversary, but they couldn't find it anywhere because the 15th was the new one.
Yeah.
And so I ended up with the 10th one. Somehow they found it, and I was like, I just really wanted an anniversary edition.
You're like, I don't even care what anniversary.
But the fact that I have one that's apparently harder to find is still pretty healthy.
Yeah, that's nice. You seriously got the hookup this year.
Yeah, Santa gave me the hookup.
Yeah, I always get this like sense of like I always get a little sad though on Christmas, just because I'm like the holiday's almost over.
Oh really?
Because I don't know
I guess
why.
For me this year, Christmas did not kick in until I drove home Christmas morning to see my family.
Oh, did you work on
And
Christmas Eve?
Yeah, I worked till 11:30 on Christmas Eve.
Gross.
Yeah, but because I don't get to see my family a whole lot otherwise, and so like when I went home, it was just all fun and games. One of my cousins, actually both of my cousins, got they got drones from my parents as Secret Santa gifts.
Oh my god.
And of course, because this is the way my cousins are, they're just freaking goofballs. But I helped one of them set them up and everything, and then we went to the backyard to try it. And the first thing he did was crash it into our neighbor's yard, like within like 2 or 3 minutes of flying the thing. And so we went to the neighbors to go ask if we can go in their backyard or whatever. And apparently, the neighbor said it was the second drone that had already hit his house today.
Oh my god.
This is at like 1 o'clock on Christmas, and it was just the funniest thing.
They say that like because they were like suspecting a lot of people would get drones for Christmas, they're like, try using it in the house first before you take it outside, where it will probably fly away from you.
Yeah, no, he didn't do that very well.
I don't trust myself with a drone.
We got a text 2 days ago, so the day after Christmas, that he had already crashed it into 4 things and completely broke the drone by the time we got home.
No.
Which is just his personality. Like they've gotten like little helicopters in the past and crashed him, but this is just like the high point in his drone wrecking career. Geez.
Amazon's been doing those drone deliveries lately.
Oh, have they really?
They're still like in their testing phase. So you have to like sign up to like be a part of it, and like you order it, and then a drone will come and deliver it to you.
Have you seen the new Amazon grocery store thing they got going on?
No.
I think it's called Amazon Go. Oh, here we go. I'll drop the laydown being a nerd major. So pretty much Amazon's doing this thing where they opened a grocery store in Seattle, actually, luckily enough for us. And all you need is your phone. And so you take your phone, you open up their app or whatever, and as you walk in, instead of, you know how like in the subways they have turn belts or something?
Yeah.
This has a little scanner where if you have your phone on you, it'll scan your phone, letting them know that you're in the store. All you do is pick up what you want and leave, and it automatically checks it out for you as you walk out the door.
Oh my god. I feel like I would just be so wary of that if I was like a worker or like an employee at the grocery store.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like they're gonna have workers or whatever, but mostly it's just like because it's like a grocery store and they're mostly doing like food.
Yeah.
So it looks like they mostly just have like cooks there that are just making the food and putting it out. And
then interesting.
Right now it's only open to Amazon employees, which makes sense. They're doing like a beta test.
Yeah.
But their goal is to have it open sometime next year for anybody in Seattle that has their Amazon hookup, which is super cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
And And then funny enough, about 2 weeks ago now, when I was in Seattle for a sports game for my dad, which was his gift, we walked into an Amazon bookstore, and I'd never been to a physical Amazon store. It was
Yeah,
so
I don't
cool.
think I have
Just
either.
their vibe was in there. Their vibe in there was fairly, Apple Store vibe. It was
Yeah,
kind of like,
techie.
and yeah, instead of like showing the prices on all the books, they'd show you how many stars it was and like their favorite review of it. And
Yeah.
so it's an entire bookstore where you just are reading reviews on all your favorite books and stuff, and then you check out at the end. They don't even like need your card or anything. They just ask for your Amazon Prime account, and then just take it off there.
Interesting.
And you walk out of there with the book. Pretty cool.
That's like, yeah, that sounds super nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
I know I know my parents and I, we have like Amazon Prime, but like I don't know all like the perks that kind of go along with it.
I mean, as far as I know, I just use my sister since she has hers forever since she's a student.
Yeah.
But I get cheaper shipping, and then I get good prices. Pretty much as far as I know.
My aunt and uncle will always ship. They'll always order every Christmas present through Amazon, and just have it shipped. But this year, like half the presents that were shipped through Amazon were like all broken.
Really?
Yeah, like they bought a Bop It for my cousin, and it wasn't even in the packaging, and it was like scratched and broken, and I was like, weird. And then the CDs that they got me, Hamilton, has like a little scratch on it, but I'm like, that's okay, I'll look past it. But the Sing Street one was like completely smashed, like the case and the physical CD. So I don't know.
So are you going to get a new one then, I'm guessing?
They got a new one before Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
My grandma was like the receiver of all of the Amazon gifts because she was going to wrap them. And so she told me after the fact. But yeah, I was like, I don't know who is handling these Amazon packages, but they're not looking so good.
Speaking of really weird packaging, I had this case at work the other day.
Okay.
So we were putting up a TV because I work in the electronics section, and so we're putting up this TV. So we're opening up the box, whatever, put the TV up, and there's for some reason like a green army man and like two freaking what are they called, Hot Wheels cars in the box, like not packaged or anything.
Okay.
Just like it's almost like someone's kid just dropped them into the box.
Yeah.
But it was an unopened TV box.
What?
Yeah, so it's some Samsung TV. They opened up the Samsung TV, never before opened box or anything. And yeah, and there's a green army man and two Hot Wheels cars in it.
That is so weird.
I don't know how that happens, but yeah, that is weird though.
Especially because the companies that will be sending these TVs are not going to be around little army men and Hot Wheels.
No, Samsung has no connection to Hot Wheels that I know of, but
that is so weird.
Yet we had them. Yeah.
Huh. Well, thank God you guys opened it, not like a customer.
Yeah.
You imagine like a customer getting it home, they're like, I did not order or I did not purchase a little green.
I mean, if I opened a TV like that, I'd be a little curious and a little weary. But at the same time, why the hell not? I'd just keep them. I'm like, cool.
And definitely post a story on Reddit or something.
Yeah, I'd probably put it on Reddit. I did this thing a while back called Bombfell, which is kind of you get an online stylist, and they'll send you clothes based on like your style. You send them pictures, and they're just an online stylist.
Okay.
And they'd send you clothes, and you get to try them out, and then send them back if you don't want them, or if you do want them, you just keep them and pay them.
Yeah.
And like every single package I got, they'd send me a little like a little toy you get from the quarter machines at
that's cute.
Papa Murphy's or whatever. Yeah, and so I have like a little what is it? Finn the Human from what is it? Adventure Time.
Adventure
so I have
Time,
a little, so I have a little what is it? Bubblegum Princess and Jake. Or not Jake, Finn.
That is
Finn
so stinking cute.
Yeah, but they sent them every time, and so I have like 3 or 4 of
them. That's like a cute little like touch to it, like cute little like a little flair.
See, and that's what I assumed it was, but then again, after hearing the Samsung story, I'm like, maybe they just are real close to one of those things.
Maybe someone just accidentally knocked it in or something.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I thought the first time, and then I got a second one and a third one, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Huh. Well, since we are kind of in between Christmas and New Year's, since New Year's is like a few days away, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Kind of. I have some like creative projects I want to work on.
Okay.
One being the podcast, but
Heck yeah.
Actually, it's funny enough. So my dad's birthday is the 2nd of January.
Yeah.
And so what he likes to do is instead of presents, he'll have us, or usually it'll be like instead of presents, he'll like just have like sit down and talk to us about like what like kind of like how happy he is with how our life's going, or like what he wants us to improve on. Yeah, like his own New Year's resolutions for us kind of thing.
Okay.
But this year, instead, he gave us a list of, it was 10 things that we want to do at some point in our lives.
Okay.
Whether it's like an adventure, or like you just want to complete this before you die, something like that. And just his thing is he wants to be able to help us with it.
Okay.
That's the first thing. But he said go all out if you want, or whatever. So I actually have this list if you want to.
I would love to hear what's on the list.
If you'd like to hear the throwdown. All right, let me pull it up real quick. It's on my laptop. All right, let's see. So his example was just like sporting events, because that's his favorite thing.
Yeah.
Big sporting events. So mine so far were to go to a Game 7, whether it be NBA or MLB.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Exactly. Just watching them on TV gets me more hyped than watching a Super Bowl or something, because I know there were 6 games before this that were absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Number 2 happens to be go to the Super Bowl.
One day.
Right? I mean, that'd be cool. I had a friend that went to the which Super Bowl was it? It was one with the Steelers and the Cardinals. What was that? 2010, I think.
Okay.
I think it's 2010. And he brought me like a program, and after I saw that program, I was like, oh, I need to go to a Super Bowl at some point in my life.
Yeah.
Let's see. Number 4 was I want to see some of France, probably Paris, but Lyon would be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
5 was see a game at Madison Square Garden, because
one of the most popular and famous venues
yeah.
ever.
6 was see Greece or Rome. I just want to see something Mediterranean in general.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I skipped 3. I'll go back up to 3. Publish something, which I said earlier. I want to run some sort of popular media blog outlet of some sort, whether that be like
I could see you doing
a review
that.
channel, a blog, something of the sort. Number 8 was the podcast that I'm actually talking about and talking in right now. My 9th one was to master some sort of creative outlet aside from what I already like doing.
Okay.
So I already like writing short stories, stuff like that. So that means I want to be able to either like write and produce music, or learn how to like completely film and edit a video to professional standard, or take photos and edit those to a professional standard. Just something I could absolutely master that I don't work with now.
I think that's good.
Let's see. 10 was see a bit of the UK at some point, and then I did a bonus 11 just because why not? And I want to see not every, because that'd be a lot, but most major U.S. and some Canadian cities.
Cities?
So far, yeah, I just want to see all the big cities.
The big cities. I was like,
yeah.
Are you thinking you're gonna hit every single city in the country?
No, see, I was thinking every major city, and then I started making a list, and I was like, oh no. So I just picked like the coolest, or not the coolest, but like the bigger cities.
Yeah.
So like I have Seattle, which I've already checked off. LA, I have that one done. I haven't seen Chicago. Haven't seen New York. I want to see Toronto. I want to see Boston, Miami, Philly, Detroit, San Francisco. Though I've been there already. I want to see Quebec. I've been to Vegas. I want to see Pittsburgh. I want to see DC. I want to see Denver. I've seen New Orleans. Hella cool. I want to see Honolulu just because I want to go to Hawaii.
It's so pretty.
And Houston, which I have also seen.
Oh my
so
goodness.
That was I want to just see the big cities. The one I want to see the most is Chicago.
I want to go to Chicago so bad.
I really want to go to Chicago. I really want to see New York, and I really want to see Toronto.
I'm going to New York next year.
Ooh.
Well, it's because my parents and I are taking a cruise of like the New England area.
Yeah.
And we're flying into New York. We're docking out of there.
Oh, cool.
And then we're going to go on the cruise. But we'll spend like 1 or 2 days on either side of our trip, actually just in New York. And I've been to New York before, so it'll be nice to go
I went
back.
to New York when I was a wee lad, but that's about it. So I don't remember anything.
Yeah, too young to actually make memories of it.
That was the pre-5-year-old where, life doesn't exist back then.
Yeah, you're
like what were we talking about later? Like, we talked about last time.
Yeah. Those are nice. Those are like a good like mixture of like travel and sports and like attainable this year, maybe not attainable until like a few years.
I kind of feel bad because I'm going back through it. I realize about 6 of them are probably travel of some sort.
Hey, I like that.
And then 3 more are like see a sporting event. But other than that, I mean, it doesn't have to be all done this year. In fact, it won't be done this year. But
at least you're writing them down so that you can remember at some point that you want to accomplish these things.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's super cool.
And I think that's part of my dad's point as well. So I applaud him for his plan here.
Yeah, go your dad.
Yeah.
What a genius idea. I never even heard of like someone doing that. But I guess if your birthday is that close to New Year's, that's like a
And
cool
Christmas.
and Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, so he gets a lot of I still tried to shower him for Christmas, you know, and he got a birthday present for like on Christmas and opened it anyway
Yeah.
because it's a week away. Yeah, so he's like, I've already got presents. I'm done with the whole present thing. I know it's hard to do presents after you just bought Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Like, just give me something, you know, New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
Like, so
Both of my uncles, they were both born on December 30th.
ooh,
So like right after Christmas, right before New Year's, so they're kind of in that
yeah.
same boat of like they're in between the holidays.
Yeah, my youngest cousin is December 26th, so yeah, we
Oh,
have two birthdays that we pretty much celebrate on Christmas as well.
I just remembered my aunt's birthday is also on Christmas Eve.
Oh wow.
Huh.
Yeah, we're both all around Christmas.
I know. And then here's me, I'm born in April. I'm like just
I'm
way
just
out
a
in
month.
spring.
So did you have any New Year's resolutions you wanted to add
Sure. Well,
to our?
I was thinking about this recently because 2 years ago I blogged about my New Year's resolutions and I made like, or I don't know if I blogged about them or I made a video about it. Maybe both.
Mm-hmm.
I know I for sure made a video. I don't know if I blogged about it. But I made like 3 resolutions and I can't really remember them. And I honestly don't even know if I like would achieve them. And then
Yeah.
last year I blogged and made a video about my New Year's resolutions and I made 5 resolutions. And I within like a few weeks I was like I'm not going to be able to accomplish these. Some of them I honestly don't even care about anymore. And so this year I was like really trying to think. I was like the past few years I've made resolutions that like I'm not like super, it's not that I'm not super thrilled, but like I just like didn't really care about them as much.
Yeah, I think I don't think I've ever like committed to a resolution. I've been like, yeah, I'll make some, but I never actually like cared about it enough to sit down and actually accomplish anything.
Exactly, yeah. And I just feel like I wasn't in like the mental state to be like, yeah, I really want to do these. And I just like didn't really care about them personally enough to be like, I really want to dedicate this year. But this year, since 2016 was kind of like a roller coaster for me, like
Yeah,
in every
for
way.
everyone.
And I was like, okay, I'm at the point where I feel like I'm ready to like make some sort of change in my life. And so I made one resolution, but it's kind of like a broad one.
Mm-hmm.
My resolution for 2017 is to just focus on myself more, whether that be
I like
like
that.
surrounding myself more with like friends who already are like super supportive while also like reaching out to new people to gain more relationships or like join some sort of like group to do like a new hobby or something because I really want to do a dance class now after I saw Lala Land, which I will touch on more a little bit
Ooh.
later. But and then just like make better choices for myself personally for my own happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think my only resolution for 2017 is just to focus on myself. And I've kind of like in my mind I've dubbed it as the year for me.
Yeah.
So that's really my only resolution, but it's just like the first time where I'm like, okay, I really want to do this. I feel
Yeah.
mentally ready to like accomplish this. And like, I have ideas already of how I'm going to like work towards this. So I feel good about it.
That's good. See, because I'm always so go with the flow. I literally my goals for the year just end up being whatever that week I have goals for because it changes every week. And so
Yeah.
yeah, mine has always just kind of been like, well, I hope I don't hate myself by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Usually
I hope I'm not in
nine
a
times out of
bad
10, I'm doing all
spot.
right.
Yeah.
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 And then it ends up just being like, oh, I'd like to pick up this hobby, and then I'll pick it up for that week or the next couple of weeks and be like, oh, okay, I'm kind of done. Like, I think last year I was like, oh, I'll learn some guitar, and I'm like, no, I can play some guitar, I can play some tunes, but it's not a career of mine, so I clearly didn't dive that deep into it. But
You did not become obsessed with it.
yeah,
Yeah. I think because I like, when I make very concrete resolutions or goals,
mm-hmm.
I don't really want to stick to them because I feel very like confined to them. So
Yeah,
I feel like with my resolution being more broad, it gives me more opportunities to kind of play in that field of like what
yeah,
will make me happy and it will give me the chance to kind of like trial and error, like try something. If it doesn't work, okay, now I know. Or try something and maybe learn that I really am passionate about this, or I really enjoyed the people who were involved in it or something like
yeah.
that. So
And at the end of the day, you're the one that gets to determine whether it was a success or not. And so when you leave it broad, you leave it you leave it open for yourself to for self
Exactly.
criticism still.
It's broad enough that I can still have some wiggle room, but specific enough for me that I know what I want out of it.
Yeah.
So that's
You
been,
can still look back on the year and be like, well, did I like myself this year? Well, yeah, I did like myself this year. So I'm gonna call that a success.
yeah, successful year for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot within like the last like few days because I'm starting to like I'm writing my New Year's resolution blog and then I'm getting ready to film my video for that probably on Friday. So just slowly but surely getting there.
Nice. I wanted to hop into another subject since we're still in the realm of family.
Let's do it.
So, my favorite thing about being older and being with family is you're no longer, as an adult, you're no longer in the area of, oh, I did this as a kid, I can't talk about this.
Yep.
Like, oh, when I was 18, like I'm like back when I'm 18, if I had a drink of alcohol, I'm not gonna go home and tell my dad, I had this Mike's Hard lemonade for the first time in my life. It was kind of dope. I got a little too lit, but it was fun. But now I'm at the age where, oh, it's no holds barred. We can talk about whatever we want.
You're kind of like on equal footing now a little bit in the terms of like experience and like open-mindedness and willingness to discuss these topics.
Exactly. And it's funny because like my parents are super how do I way worse than I was as a kid. Like they were
wild childs.
I am not wild compared to them. So when I bring up stories at times, it's almost like I feel a little proud of myself because I'm like I'm kind of getting I'm living life closer to what you were living back in the day. Yeah. But and my parents, we've always been able to talk about like weird stuff and crazy stuff with each other. Like for example, my first year when I was first going to college, I was like the move-in day. Somehow my mom, my best friend, and my best friend's mom got into a conversation about foot fetishes at eating lunch or dinner. I don't know how it got there, but it's totally normal for me and my family. And so it was me and my best friend, and then my other friend who was going to live with us. He was sitting there. His parents were there. He was sitting there just like, how the hell are you guys talking to your parents about foot fetishes? I could not even, I could not do that with my family. That would weird all of us out too much. And so like, just an example, that's kind of where my family sits. So the stuff we talk about now is so beyond even weird. Like, not that we get into like sex stuff a lot, but it's funny because it doesn't matter if it does because we're totally fine with it.
You guys are like very chill about it.
Yeah, we can talk about anything. So like my examples, I'll throw some examples back. I was telling my dad about the first time I smoked weed. And I don't smoke weed often or anything, but
you dabbled.
He did a ton as a kid. Yeah, I've enough to say I've been there. But I'm not gonna stay there, kind of.
Yeah.
Thing, Where my parents have stayed there before, and so it's just talking about like the first time I got high or something, and my parents are just like, oh yeah, like yeah, it's fun. Like I've never in my whole life they've never been like don't smoke weed or anything. Their thing is like, well, if you're gonna do something, one, do it in moderation, and do it in a safe environment where you're not gonna hurt yourself.
Yep.
And so when I'm like. So, of course, that kind of weirds me out thinking, like, oh, man, like, when you get high, like, this is going to happen. It's going to be crazy, whatever. And then, once I've actually tried it and I actually know the experience down to, like, the T in my mind.
Yeah.
When I talk to my parents, it's all, instead of just being, like, looking up to something like, oh, that's going to be wild. Now it's just kind of like, oh, I've been there. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I've had those experiences, too.
Yeah, or, like, another example was... I told my dad about this time I'd blacked out, like I just had too much alcohol.
Yeah.
Blacked out. And so he would tell me like one of his stories, and he ended up like getting in a bar fight.
Oh
and,
my
like,
God.
up and just being like beat across the face. And I'm just like I still haven't lived as much as you have, but I'm peeping into the view a little bit, and I understand you now, but before I just thought you were like so much cooler.
Yeah, you like couldn't. You're like I have no like semblance of like what that situation would be like for you. But now you're like, okay, I kind of see. I can kind of relate to you in that sense. I didn't get into a bar fight, but I blacked out.
And they become a little more human, but like in the best way possible.
Yeah,
you're just like you're a little more human, but you're still my favorite human.
You just like you can connect to them a little bit better.
Yeah, like growing up, it's all about grades in school, right?
Yeah.
Good grades, whatever. None of my parents actually ended up graduating college.
Okay.
They've both been to college, but they never actually walked out of there with a degree. And so, actually, my mom got her AA, but my dad got really close, had me, and dropped out to support the family, right? And so he actually was like a business major as I am as well. And he'd always been, like when I got to college, he's like, I'm proud of you. I got to this point. It took me a little longer, but I'm like, yeah, I feel like you're way ahead of me at where you are and stuff. And I'm like just sobbing because it's so
Yeah, you're like, we're having a
emotional and
moment.
sentimental. Yeah. Well, this last weekend, we were talking about business classes or whatever. And in high school, he was a C student, and so in college, he like tried to buckle down a little bit, but was still just a C student.
Okay.
And it's the first time I've ever gotten to brag about having C pluses in college. Which was real entertaining. So we're sitting at the table at dinner, and my dad's like, "Oh, how are your grades going?" To my sister, and she's like, "They're good, except my calc grade sucks or whatever. I have like a C minus in it or whatever." And so I'm like trying to be all show offy, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I pulled C pluses in my classes." And then my dad's like, "I mean, considering you don't like your classes at all, that's pretty good. I couldn't manage that." And at that moment, I was just like, "I have reached God status."
You're like, I am doing great.
I'm like, these are the gods whose standards I've set myself to, and I've reached those standards. So my life is complete.
You're like, it can only get better.
Yeah, because my whole life, I'm like, oh man, like, oh, if I don't get a B in this class, my parents gonna be pissed or whatever. And it was like the first time where I was like, I'm gonna be real with you, I got a C plus, and they're like, you know what? That's actually fairly admirable because it sucks.
You're like, we get it.
They're like, business calc, I would not survive that class. So, you're doing it.
I barely passed my math classes. Like,
yeah.
Barely. So I was like,
so it was like, yeah.
I took the easiest classes, got like C plus, B minus, probably C plus, or maybe C minus. But I was like, get me in these two classes and then get me the hell out of math. Like, I don't want to be anywhere near this.
I think we've all barely survived a math class in our
math and science.
Yeah,
those are the two that I'm like, I'm never gonna.
Yeah, but yeah, just my favorite thing was that like, if I'd ever said I got a B or a C plus in any schooling, even up to this year, in a class, my parents would be like, "Come on, like you can do better than that." And then this is like the first time they were like, "Damn, like, well, you're past what I did, so applause there."
Like, good job, DJ. Yeah. I feel like, as far as like grades go, I've always been like a pretty good student.
Yeah.
But college was the first time that like I got a C, and it scared the crap out of me.
Same.
And then like when I talked to my parents about it, they're like, "Okay, well, like we feel like you probably could, like you could do better, but we also know that you're trying, and at least it's not a D."
Yeah, that was the other thing. And like in high school and my first 2 years of college, I was like, "Oh, this is easy. I'm cruising through whatever." And then I got here and I was like, damn. In my junior year, I'm like, damn, I really got to step it up. It's tough. And like the moment I got to the point where I'm like, I worked as hard as I could. One final, I had like a D in the class or something, just because it was so freaking hard.
Yeah.
In calc class. And then I studied 16 hours in 3 days in the school library.
Oh my god.
Pulled out a B plus on the test and pulled out a C minus in the class. And I was just like so freaking proud of myself because like I pulled a C minus, but it was the hardest freaking effort I'd ever put in.
Yeah, 16 hours. That's crazy.
My parents were just like good job on like I know the grade sucks. We'd usually roast you on the grades, but one, you're in calc, so
yeah,
fuck that.
Hell no to calc.
And two, 16 hours is ridiculous. So we would already let it slide because we're proud of you and that's a tough class.
Yeah.
But that's you get a little cookie for that one.
As long as you try and put in the effort, and like some subjects just don't mesh well with people. Like some people just have a really hard time processing. How I kind of described it to people when like I would have a math or science class, like it takes me a little bit longer to process math and science. So, like I have to really like spend time with it. And when you're in college, we had 10 weeks a quarter. Yeah. And so you don't get that much time to really sit down and process before you're moving on to the next subject.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, there are definitely times I could not give any less of a fuck about a class.
Me?
Yeah, I'll put in the same effort I did in high school, but at this level, it's not enough effort.
Yeah.
And it's real hard to pull out good grades when you couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, you're like, I'm literally past the point of caring even the slightest.
But the point when I have to which was this calculus class, but having to dig down into it and like really put some work into it, that's when you're like, all right, I at least gave effort enough. Yeah, you put in the minimal. Well, you'd put in a lot, at least at the end. I mean, I was working minimum. The minimum wasn't enough, and then I was like, fuck.
Damn. I would like to switch gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of pull a
School
180.
sucks. Next one.
I have been on like a movie craze lately.
I like to hear that.
Because there was 4 days that all I did was go to the movies. From the 23rd to the 26th. Every single day I saw a movie.
Including Christmas?
Including Christmas.
You go.
It was, so on the 23rd, I saw Office Christmas Party with my dad.
Oh, yeah.
And it was absolutely hysterical. Like,
was it really good?
It was so funny. I love T.J. Miller. Like, I think his comedy
is hilarious. I love his stuff.
So good. Jason Bateman will always do it for me, so I was like there for that. And then anytime Jennifer Aniston is in a movie where she's swearing, I fall in love with her even more. Like in Horrible Bosses,
which tends to be the comedy ones. Yeah.
Yeah, Horrible Bosses. I was like, you get them, girl. Like I love you even more than I already do. And then Office Christmas Party, she's like cussing up a storm, and I'm like, I love you so much. And then on Christmas Eve, my parents and I saw Manchester by the Sea.
Oh my lord, my dad spent like 20 to 30 minutes trying to convince my entire family to go to that. And we wanted to go, but we couldn't find a theater close. And it looks so good.
It was amazing. And like, first off, Casey Affleck deserves all Casey the awards. Like,
that's what I keep hearing.
Is so good. And then the kid who plays his nephew, who he becomes the guardian of, does an amazing job. And I'm just like there for every bit of it. And like, your heart just goes on like a bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, I've heard it's really, really good.
Yeah. And then on Christmas, my entire family and I, after we like did presents and brunch, we all went to go see Sing.
Oh, the new
the animated movie.
Pixar one. Yeah.
Really cute. Good music. Everyone who sings in it did really well.
Oh, that's good.
I have never been to a movie that has been that packed though.
Really?
It was like there was like 0 seats left. Like,
which blows my mind because you would have thought like Moana or something would have been packed when we went.
Right? It was Sing and Rogue One were like crazy. I'm not even touching Rogue One for like another like month. Like I can't deal with that. Like those crowds.
Yeah.
And then on the 26th, my mom and I saw La La Land.
What is that one about?
Oh my god. It's with Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. And like, my heart was not able to like properly cope with this movie because it was so good. Like, it deserves every bit of recognition that it is currently getting.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look into that one more. Because I just kind of tossed it to the side as another A-list rom-com, which like where it's like it's really good actors but a really throwaway story, and so
you need to see it.
Into this one.
Do you know the premise of it?
Me a good rom-com. I don't.
So
because I just gave it a toss away and give up on it.
Let me help you out here. So Emma Stone's character Mia is an aspiring actress, and Ryan Gosling's character Sebastian is a jazz pianist. And they kind of, in the beginning of the movie, they run into each other a few times before they meet, and it's about the two of them chasing their dreams in Hollywood.
Oh, okay, I have seen this.
And it's like a musical. And my heart beats for musicals.
Yeah.
The only thing I've been listening to is that soundtrack. And the Sing Street soundtrack, but that's for another day. But they filmed it, the director filmed the movie on like cinescope lenses, like they would have done like in the 50s or something.
Oh, that's cool.
And like they did a lot of like one take, just long shots.
Yeah.
And like Ryan Gosling took 3 months of piano lessons, like 6 hours a day, like so he could like actually play the piano. And they took like dance, and oh my god, like during the movie I was sitting there and I was like, yeah, this is like good, like I'm digging it.
Yeah.
There was one clip near the end where Ryan Gosling sits down at the piano and just stares at the keys. I, for some reason, started bawling at that one look, and I was like, oh my god, like I could not handle it. And then I walked out of the movie and I was like, that was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. Like, one of the best movies I've ever seen, hands down. Oh, it just makes me so happy thinking about it. I want to see it again.
Speaking of stories that just make you want to cry your eyes out.
Yes.
I usually don't read much.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd rather just watch a movie,
Yeah.
With 1,000 words anyway, that kind of thing, right? However, the other day I was working. I walked by. I was sorting books or whatever. I walked by and saw this one book, and the cover was just this like this guy and this girl running or something. I don't know. It looked kind of edgy. I was kind of feeling it. And so I picked it up, and it's called All in Pieces. And I was like,
that sounds familiar.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And so I picked it up and looked at the back, and it's written by, I don't remember her name, Susan Young or Susan Collins, something like that. But she's written like The Program and a couple other books, and my sister adores these. And I was like, fine, it looks kind of good. I'll pick it up. So I bought it. Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
I got home and I read like 30 pages of it, and I was like, this is okay. It's like this girl who's goes to like it's not a secondary school, but like the schools for the angry kids, pretty much.
Okay.
Because she like stabbed her ex-boyfriend's hand with a pencil.
What?
Something along those lines. It makes sense as you actually.
You need context. I get it.
I mean, I can give a little bit of context. She has a special needs brother.
Okay.
And the kid called her brother the R word.
Oh, so she's like, hell no.
And she stabbed him in the hand.
You know what? Good for her.
And the whole movie, you kind of say that to yourself, and by the end of it, you're like, oh yeah, you do it again.
Get it, girl.
But so I read 30 pages. I was like, this is kind of interesting. It's whatever. And then the next day, and then I texted my sister and was like, hey, I got this book. It's by that author you really like. I'll see if I can finish it and send it your way, because this was a couple days before I head home for Christmas. And so I read a couple pages the next day, and then I was like, okay, this is pretty good. Then I had to go to work. The next day, I spent the entire day reading it, and then I got like the last 100 pages or so, and I had to go to work, and then I had to leave the next morning, and I was up till like 4 a.m. reading this book.
Oh my
just
gosh.
binging it. I was done and just like in tears, and was just like, I texted my sister. I was like, I'm bringing this. You have to.
You're like, you need to read this right now.
Oh, so I highly recommend this book. It's very contemporary, young adult. They're in high school, that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's just this girl with anger management problems. That is what they say, kind of, even though she kind of deserved to stab the dude. Whatever. And then she has these two friends that are also in there, and they're really funny. And kind of stick up for her, and they get in fights and stuff. And then there's this rich boy that moves into the school and sits next to her in one of the classes, and is like, kind of mysterious.
Yeah.
And kind of like talks to her a little bit. And of course, it's a love story in which it's Savannah and Cameron, or Savvy and Cameron, which are my new favorite ship couple.
That's cute.
Yeah, but it's like, and so the whole story is her like her family's not really there, so she's taking care of her little brother.
Yeah.
And she also has this boy she kind of likes, and then her friends end up getting up in fights, and she has to help them. And so it's a total coming of age story, which is what I'm a sucker for.
Yeah, you and I are all about those stories.
Yeah, wonderful book. And so I went home for Christmas, and I gave my sister the book, and I was like, look, you have to drive, because she's going back to school, and I was like, you have to drive 6 hours like in a couple days. You're gonna read this entire book. She's like, whatever, because I've given her like 4 books and she just hasn't read them.
Your sister is dropping the ball.
I know. And so I handed her this one. I was like, I want this back, so you need to read it quickly. And so, I mean, she has it now, but she texted me like 2 days later, and she was like, I read the whole thing in one sitting. It was like, I'm crying. I was like, it's just so good. So I would recommend this book if you ever want to get a good cry in. It's not my favorite book of all time is Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yeah. And
I like Eleanor and Park a lot as well. I'd probably put this book right next to Perks. It's not written in the same way or anything, but I just like the story of it.
Yeah. I love when you find...
if you want a good book like that.
I love when you find a book that, like, you just, like, you get so, like, consumed by that you will literally sit, like, if you could, like, just sit there all day and read just that book, that's what you would do. Those are my favorite.
And that very, very rarely happens to me, which is why I'm not a reader. It's so rare I find a book where I sit there and read it for days on end.
Yeah.
And so when I find one, it's, like, extra special, and so, like, the only, like, couple books I really, like, sat down and absolutely loved all the way through. But this one is one of those.
Have I ever told you about the day where I read 3 books in one day?
Oh, that sounds... I'm gonna be... From my point of view, that sounds like hell. But...
It was the best day ever. It was, like, during the summer, I wasn't working this one day, and I was like, I just, like, I'm gonna read. I guess it was, like, 2.5 books, because I think I was already reading one book.
You're into one a little bit.
And so, the first book was Mindy Kaling's book, Why Not Me?
Yeah.
Oh my god. First off, Mindy Kaling is my idol. And
Yeah, she's
so I was like
hilarious.
loving that. And so I'd already read like half of her book. And so I was like, oh, I'll just go down to Boulevard Park in Bellingham.
Mm.
And it was like a sunny day. I brought a towel and I brought 3 books with me. And so one of them was Mindy Kaling's book. Read, or actually, I think I just brought 2 books. Read the last half of it pretty quickly. And then I had the book How to Be Single, which inspired the movie, but the movie and the book are like 2 completely different stories.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I read How to Be Single, like sitting at the park, like in one sitting. Like,
Oh,
got through that thing.
you did this. You did this out and about,
Out and
in the
about,
wilderness
in
out
the
there.
sun, and I'm a redhead who burns easily.
Oh, I can't even read in public at all. Like the moment I get distracted so easily. I have to sit like in my room with nothing happening. The fan can't even be on, or I'll start turning the fan. Like I'll, when you hear something for long enough and then it starts to sound like a rhythm, even though there's really
Yeah,
no
you're
rhythm
just
to
like,
it.
that's the only thing that's
That's me
on
when
your
I'm reading.
mind.
It's only because I'm really bored, and it's not like these books will bore me, but man, there has to be nothing happening for me
I am
unless I
100% the
need it.
opposite. Like, when I was younger and I would read Harry Potter, I got so engrossed by it and, like forgot about everyone around me that, like, I would, like, start mouthing the words and, like, it'd be like, Hermione gasped, and then I would gasp, and, like, not realizing people could see me because I totally blocked the entire world out.
Yeah, I did that with this book where like since I said the characters are Savvy and Cameron would like make a move or something, just a subtle move, and then like
You find your
how it
body
is
doing
received
it
by
too.
no, not quite, but like the character would receive something, and then I'd literally just like be holding my book, put my book like pull my eyes up from the book, and just be like, "You cheeky son of a bitch," and just laugh to myself for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then go back to the book, or like I'll be reading something. And I'll be like, oh, hey, I think I know where this is going. And then, like, put the book down for a second just to think about it and be like, oh, fuck. I didn't notice this earlier. Now it's coming back. And I have to, like, reorganize my thoughts because something just happened.
Yeah.
And then I get back in. So in public, I'd look like a fucking idiot.
I do look like an idiot, but I'm like, I don't even care. I don't even care. But so I
Yeah,
finished. I finished How to Be Single that day at the park.
Yeah.
Then I went back to my apartment and picked up Harry Potter and the Cursed Child
Oh, boy.
and read that entire thing too. So 3,
And
2.5, but I rounded it up to 3. 3 books in one day.
and those are big books, aren't they?
They're
At
not
least Harry Potter's
small.
gotta be huge. Yeah.
Well, the thing with the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is that's a screenplay, or it's the script.
Oh.
It's the script from the play.
Oh, okay.
And so
That's not,
at first I was
that's
like,
not excessive as I was thinking it was.
yeah, but like at first I was like, I'm gonna have such like a hard time getting involved in this, like because like it's like just like the straight dialogue mainly. Nope. 3 pages in, I was like, I'm in this. Let's go. And like I had no responsibilities that day, so I'm like, why not? I'm just gonna read 3 books and just like coast.
Jeez, like, cause I read what, like, I think the book I was reading was 370 pages. I read 370 pages over the course of 4 days, and you read what well over 1,000 is my guess.
It was like
Actually,
the
I don't know
best
how big
day
a Harry
ever.
Potter one is, but still, in a day, that's.
I read the second Harry Potter book in 2 days once when I was like 8. But that's because I would like go to the Boys and Girls Club like during the summers, and all I would do is sit there and read. Like I was that girl who just read, and like nobody wanted to talk to me because all I wanted to do was read. Like I didn't want to interact with anybody. And then I like turned 13. I was like, okay, let's make friends.
I was the kid that you couldn't get to sit down and read because I was just like so bored by it, I guess.
Like I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I
I think I was gonna say that's probably a good segue for our timestamps.
I was just gonna say, should we do our timestamps?
And one of my timestamps is All in Pieces.
Yeah.
That oh boy.
What else do you got?
Oh,
what are your other timestamps?
Other timestamps. I haven't watched it in a while, but I mentioned it earlier. The Donnie Darko movie I got. I'm just gonna timestamp that one because it's a damn good movie. It was so funny. At Christmas, my aunt's boyfriend or whatever was like, "Oh, Donnie Darko, that's a weird one," and I was like, "Oh, I love it." And he's like, "Yeah, I watched it. I didn't get it," and I was like, "I think that's the point of it."
You're not supposed to fully understand what's going on.
Yeah, it takes a couple of watches to actually kind of get an idea of what's going on. Yeah, but he's like, yeah, I watched it, and it's some cult following. I just don't get it. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, of course you don't get it.
You're like, you don't get any of it.
I started a little fanboy a little bit. I'm like, you didn't get it because you're not part of the cult that loves it. So, step back.
You just like
but
do a subtle little like hair
yeah.
flip. Like you just don't get it.
Like you don't even get it. I'm in a phase and you just don't understand.
You don't understand me. Nobody
I'm like, you
understands
don't. It's
me.
supposed to be a little scary. That's the point of it. But it's not a horror movie, you know.
The first time I saw it, I got so scared of that damn rabbit bunny thing.
Oh, Frank.
Because I was like, as a child, I got scared of things like that very easily. I was like, I'm not here for that. Mm-mm.
See, and I didn't think I'd be a fan of it, and my mom was like, it's not scary or whatever. So one day I was just like, I remember like asking my mom if I could stay up late to watch it one time, and she's like, "You're not gonna get scared," because I'd watched like reviews of it or something or a trailer, and I was just like, "It's creepy," because this is my creepy phase.
Okay.
So I like creepy things, but not jump scares, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, it's really creepy. I want to watch it," and so I watched it, and I was like, "It's eerie, but it's not really scary," which is like bullseye for what I was wanting at the time.
Yeah.
I just remember staying up and watching it and sitting up all night, not because I was scared, but just like thinking about it, like, oh my god, what this and that and this, and like the next day I like went to school, came home and watched it again, like, oh man.
Yeah.
I was enamored by that thing.
Frank scared me because I just like imagine like Frank standing in my backyard, and I'm like, I walk by the door and I see him, I'm like, So, like, in my mind, with my imagination going friggin' batshit crazy, I was like, I'm scared. That movie has always intrigued me. And then when I got older, like, I was, like, obviously not as scared of the character Frank. But, like, it's just one of those movies that, like, it's just, like, your mind is constantly going.
Yeah, really, though.
I feel that.
Yeah, I adore that movie. And Maggie and Jake Gyllenhaal are in it, and they have great rapport with each other.
What a beautiful sibling pairing! Like, and they're just like great together.
Really. One of my favorite scenes in movie history ever is they're sitting at the table or whatever with their little. It's the family, which is the mom, the dad, Maggie and Jake, and then their little sister. And somehow they get to some point where they're like, you're being such a dick or whatever, and one of them yells, "You can suck a fuck." And then, or Maggie yells that, and then Jake looks over and is like, how do you suck a fuck? That doesn't even make sense. And just their arguments is so you can tell they're actually siblings in real life.
Yep.
It's perfect.
It works.
It's perfect.
It totally works.
I'll move on to my next timestamp. I'm very proud of myself for this one.
Okay.
Because last week I was on Modern Baseball.
Yep.
You're gonna miss it all. Usually I sit on albums for a long time. However, and I'm still on that album. It's still my number 2 right now. But I have a new number 1 right now.
Okay.
It's Angel Olsen's My Woman. Oh boy, it's weird. It's a hard album to get into if you don't already listen to anything like that. She's kind of late 60s rock influenced, but it's like the way I imagine it is it could replace the soundtrack to 500 Days of Summer, and it would still fit in a weird, quirky way.
Hold on 1 second, DJ.
Yeah.
My mom is literally shouting through the house that Debbie Reynolds died.
Another one.
Carrie Fisher's mom.
Oh boy, and this is like they had just checked on her, right? And
she had a stroke. Yeah. Apparently TMZ just commented on it. I don't know how true it is, but my mom literally like shouting through the house.
Oh no.
And I was like, why is my mom shouting? She's gonna get picked up on my audio. 2, I was like, okay, this is important.
Breaking news.
Breaking news podcast.
Just kidding. You've probably heard it by now.
Hopefully not true, but you just never know nowadays. Wow, 2016 sucks.
Yeah, they took a lot of people from us.
Sorry to interrupt your timestamp.
Oh, it's all good.
Such
it's all good.
Breaking urgent news.
I'll finish off my timestamp real quick. I'll just because that's my only album I have on here. I have Donnie Darko for my movie.
Yeah.
Angel Olsen, My Woman is the album, and if I had to, I'm gonna give a few songs. If you're like, oh, like I heard it's a good album, but I don't quite know what I want to jump into on it. Shut Up, Kiss Me, wonderful.
You sent me that song to listen to.
Wonderful. Oh my! Like the first time you hear it, you're like, "What the hell is this?" Like, what? I don't know. And then you listen to it once or twice, and you're like, "Okay, I kind of get the vibe of it." And then once you've got the vibe of it, you hear the lyrics all the way, and you're just like, "Oh my lord, oh my lord!"
You're like, "I'm about it."
This is right after I was reading that book I was telling you with like the cutest love story ever, and so I'm just like I'm like adding it to the characters in the book, and I'm just like, oh, crying to myself.
Oh my god.
Crying because it's so good, not crying because I'm sad.
Yeah.
That one's really good. Another song is "Those Were the Days." It's a little airy, it's a little quiet, but it's damn good. It's damn good.
Oh.
Yeah, or like just the first couple songs on the album. I think "Intern" is on there. "Never Be Mine's" pretty good, and then the third song is "Shut Up, Kiss Me." So those would be my recommendations for that.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. And then lately, I since I have my record player, I've been whipping out old records that I've been feeling, and oh boy, am I feeling them.
You're just straight up all about it.
Yeah, or like some of the old Bright Eyes stuff is good stuff. I'll throw out another timestamp because it's actually is a record I was looking for. I didn't find it the other day, sad face, but it's always a really solid album. Is the Tempered Traps Conditions album that has Sweet Disposition on it.
Okay.
Oh boy, that's an album I can sit back to and just vegetate to. Which I talked about last podcast is my favorite thing. Is just put on an album, let it play and relax.
Yeah.
This is a good one. All of it is super. It's a little rock, but it's still really chill. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's check it out.
Good hits on that album. Oh, I'll send you that one as well.
Please do. Please do.
So what are your timestamps?
Well, the most important thing in my life right now is La La Land. The only thing I care about in my life right now is La La Land. Like, the reason why I want to take dance lessons is to dance like they did in the movie.
Really? And do you want to do a quick throw to what dance lessons you're looking at?
Well, first off, okay. When I was younger, I called myself a closet hip-hop dancer because I would dance to hip-hop music in my room by myself. And the moment my parents would open the door, I'd be like, "Get out! I'm not doing anything."
Yeah.
I was like so embarrassed. It would be fun to like take a hip hop class, but I really want to do like jazz. I think jazz would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just because a lot of the movie of La La Land is based around jazz, like music and like the dancing and like old
so very classy.
Yeah, like old like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, stuff like that. But so the movie is one of my timestamps, but there's 2 songs on it that like blow my socks off. The first song is Another Day of Sun, and it's the very first song of the movie, and like it's a one-shot take, and it's filmed on a freeway, and like people are like stuck in like LA traffic, and they get out and they're dancing and singing to this song, and there's like a butt ton of people like just like down the whole freeway, but like the song is like super like fun and uplifting, and you're like, this is so cool. It's all about like people coming to Hollywood to like chase their dream, and like, I was about it.
Which sounds like a fitting opening for that.
100%. And it's also like when you get introduced to the 2 main characters, Mia and Sebastian, and then the very last song of the movie is just titled Epilogue because it's purely instrumental. There's no like
I love that on a good soundtrack.
Yeah, and like normally I like just don't like connect with those as much just because I love lyrics, but like the epilogue of this tied in every single song in the entire movie into one like 7 to 8 minute grand like jazz number.
Oh, I love those.
I will send it to you. I like every time I hear it, like either in my head because I'm just like humming it or like actually like on my Spotify, I just want to break out into like jazz dancing and like snaps and like a little shimmy.
Yeah.
I'm about it 100%. So like
you'll have to send me the whole soundtrack.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it's so good.
Because on those ones especially, like when they wrap up the entire soundtrack into one song, it makes it so much better when you've heard all of it. Yeah.
The part of the movie that I was like weeping to in theaters when Ryan Gosling sat down at the piano and just stared at the keys, he was about to play the epilogue song. And so I was like, cool, dope. I was like, we're going to go through every emotion that a human can have in one song. Awesome. And, like, John Legend was in the movie. And so he sang, like, a song. And I was like, okay, I can't. Like, my heart can't take this. It's far too much. But La La Land, the movie, the soundtrack, both of those timestamps. Also, the soundtrack for the movie Sing Street. I don't think I talked about it last week. I think I just talked about Moana last week.
Yeah, I think so.
But the Sing Street soundtrack, when I was going to Australia with my family, on the plane, like, when they had, like, the little TVs in front of you, and, like, movies, one of the movies was Sing Street, and my mom and I both watched it, like, at the same time. It was so good, and, like, the soundtrack has, like, a lot of, like, 80s, like, rock and pop influences, like Duran Duran, Hall & Oates, like, all that good stuff. And like the band in the movie sings a lot of songs, and they have like two songs that I love. One is called Up, and it just like breaks my heart every time I like hear it. And then a song called Drive It Like You Stole It. That was up, I think, for like a Critics' Choice Award against La La Land too. So I was like, I am just loving all the music out right now. My body can't physically take it though because it's too much. But those would be my timestamps. Very musical today.
Yeah, I see that.
Very musically based. So.
Well, I think that's a pretty good spot to end it.
I know, we did a good one today, episode 2.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. We're sorry for breaking the news.
I know. I was just thinking about that again. How sad.
Yeah.
But interesting now that we had this moment in time.
Yeah.
Caught
really,
on our recording.
It's almost like last time where I was like, where were you when Michael Jackson died or whatever? We have one now.
Had that moment.
Recorded.
We are sharing in this together.
We do.
I already tweeted about it too. I said, please not Debbie Reynolds too.
Oh my god, it's been a rough couple of days. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for joining us for the podcast.
Thanks.
Round 2. Round 3 will be coming up probably just as soon as you had round 2.
In 2017.
In 2017.
Oh my goodness.
It's guaranteed to be.
See you next year.
Yeah.
Those are the worst jokes.
See you next year. Yeah, that's gonna start.
Or like when someone's like, I haven't showered in a year. I was like, stop it. We don't have time for these jokes.
I'm like, you haven't showered in 12 hours? Congrats.
I know. Go 3 days and then impress me.
Anyway, have fun out there, guys.
Have fun. Have a great, safe New Year's.